With those very many remarks, Chair, please allow me to call Mr. Mawira. And thank you very much for the time accorded to me.
Honorable Chair and the members, my name is Boniface Mawira. I will begin from what my learned senior Dr. Muthomi was alluding to, the issue of the judgment that the mover or the sponsor of this motion has referred to in allegation number 2. All these issues about love and affection. It is very unfortunate that as the Cabinet Secretary has to respond to these allegations, because from where we sit, they are really belittling of this committee, that this committee has to descend to that arena of love and affection. But because the Cabinet Secretary must respond, then we are compelled, Honorable Chair, to bring to your attention that there are 3 judgments, a judgment and 2 rulings. There are 3 judicial decisions by the courts of this republic that in all the 3 judgments, the courts, judges are found in favor of Honorable Linturi that all these allegations of uttering false documents, procuring execution of documents through false pretenses, allegations of forgery and fraud. These 3 different courts sitting in different stations in the Republic are found in his favor. And they have held in the judgment of 30th November that the mover has referred to in his motion, specifically ground 2, that the allegations of forgery, the allegations of uttering false documents, procuring false execution of documents, all those allegations are untrue. And that is why we say, Honorable Chair and the members, that the mover has seriously mischaracterized the judgment of 30th of November 2021, which we have referred to in our response. Even more importantly, Honorable Chair, you will note that ground 1E, allegation 1E in the motion, it talks about alleged gross violation of Article 152 of the, Article 152(5) to 10 of the Constitution. We submit in response, Honorable Chair, that those provisions of the Constitution are incapable of breach by a Cabinet Secretary. There is no duty imposed in law on the Cabinet Secretary by Article 152 of the Constitution. Article 152 of the Constitution merely talks about the powers of the President to appoint a Cabinet Secretary, and even the powers of this committee, or even the National Assembly at large, to dismiss in the event that a motion calling for the dismissal of our Cabinet Secretary is upheld. So there is no specific duty imposed in law for the Cabinet Secretary under that constitutional provision. So it must therefore be that that constitutional provision is incapable of breach by the Cabinet Secretary. Honorable Chair, all the judgments that have been that are referred to in the motion under allegation number 2 about serious reasons to believe that the CS has committed a crime under national and international law, all those judgments that relate to this love and affection, all these judgments and all these matters that are referred to, all those court cases, they predate his appointment as CS. These are matters that were disclosed to the Committee on Appointments during the vetting of the CS. And these are matters, therefore, that could not have arisen as a result of the performance or the execution of the duties of the CS. These are matters that were there before, and the Committee on Appointments considered them in approving his nomination. Honorable Chair, my learned senior Dr. Hamino, in his opening statement, talked about the Evidence Act and the place of the Evidence Act in these proceedings. It is important that I make this clarification in order to not only to guide the committee, because we have made, in our response, in our response, Honorable Chair, there are documents that the mover in his motion has referred to, which we contend are inadmissible hearsay. And this committee, Honorable Chair, you will note, adopted rules on the 2nd of May of this year in its first sitting. And rule number 14 of those rules, Honorable Chair, says expressly that these rules shall complement the provisions of the Evidence Act. So it is not true, and in fact it is misleading for my learned senior to say that the provisions of the Evidence Act, specifically on the issue of inadmissible hearsay evidence, do not apply. This committee, in adopting its own rules, clarified and stated expressly that the provisions of the Evidence Act apply, and these rules merely complement, that is the language of the rules, they merely complement the Evidence Act. And therefore, it must be that those rules, especially on the admissibility of hearsay evidence, they must apply to these proceedings, Honorable Chair. There is another allegation, Honorable Chair, that the mover, in his opening statement, alluded to about Ugandan farmers sourcing and actually buying fertilizer. That is clearly meant for the Kenyan farmers. The subsidy program, Honorable Chair, you will note, for a farmer to be able to purchase fertilizer, they need to register on the Kenya Integrated Agriculture Management Information System, KIAMI system. And more than 4 million farmers have registered on that system. And the principal document for a farmer to be registered on the system is the ID card. So how is it possible then for a Ugandan farmer who is not Kenyan to acquire this fertilizer if they are not on the system? Because for you to get the fertilizer, you need to be registered on the system. Even more importantly, there is an e-voucher that is sent to your mobile phone number. So the ID is a principal document. And Ugandan farmers clearly do not have Kenyan ID cards. Honorable Chair, I think the last point for me is on the issue of evidential threshold, as my learned senior Dr. Mugomi alluded to. The Sonko case is clear that when it comes to matters of admissibility of evidence, inadmissible hearsay evidence would clearly fall short of the evidential threshold and the nexus that the Supreme Court stated is required before a resolution for removal of a state officer from office. And, Honorable Chair, I would just want this Honorable Committee to take note that let the committee, because we have had in other proceedings elsewhere, before the Senate, and specifically when the Senate was debating the impeachment bill that is currently before Senate, I personally had the majority leader of the Senate say that that bill is meant to cure or to remedy the problems that arose after Governor Sonko was unlawfully handed out of office. So let us not, Honorable Chair, fall for that mistake. My last point for me, Honorable Chair, is what my learned senior, and as we've been saying, the Honorable Member for Waldai is the real face behind this impeachment motion. And as my learned senior confirmed, he even met her yesterday evening. He met her yesterday evening and she was telling him she does not even have a child with the Honorable C.S. Linturi. Clear, what would be the motive for the council representing the sponsor to meet her if she is not the real face behind the motion? And the entire ground two, all those allegations that point to these personal, family, civil, commercial disputes are between the CS and the member for Waldai constituency. So clearly she is the face behind this motion. And that is why we are saying this motion is actuated by malice and personal vendetta. Honorable
Manuel, please let us continue because it's just about to conclude. I want to protect the lady in question. We are talking about Linturi, not the ex.
Thank you.
Honorable Manuel, the matter was brought by the sponsor of the motion.
Thank you, Honorable Chair, for the protection. Honorable Chair, my last point for me is let us do justice. As my senior said, justice is a two-sided coin. And injustice to Linturi does not mean justice to the farmers. Justice for the farmers does not mean injustice to Linturi. Let justice be done to either party. And the CA sympathizes with the plight of Kenyan farmers. The farmers who are duped, they have suffered enough. But let justice be done for both parties. Thank you, Honorable Chair, and the Honorable Committee for listening to me.
Thank you for
Chairman, I don't know whether you will allow me one.
keeping time. Yes, 1 minute I will allow you.
Chairman, let me respectfully make a comment. It's really not going to really the last over what my friends are saying. Just want to mention the members.
Honorable Minister, Cabinet Minister, please go in front and use that.
Chair, as he's going there, on a light note, CS Linturi is the chairperson. It is not chairman because our chair is in the list.
Chairman, on a point of order, Chair. Chairman is a position. Can be a lady. And I'll tell you, there's a lady who was elected the chair of the Eldoret Club. And she said, I will be called the chairman. That was Dr. Professor Yeko. And she remained as the, it doesn't have a gender orientation.
But she said on a light note. I know man stands for both, but please, because of time, let us allow the Cabinet Minister to continue.
Thank you, Chair. And Chair, let me appreciate what the committee is doing, because that's a constitutional responsibility to discharge. But I've inclined, just been felt that I must really say something, because Chair, whatever I've gone through for a number of years, and which is also manifesting itself here, is not anything I would want to wish any human being. It has been a long journey, very painful, and when I thought and gone through that kind of trauma, the motion is here with the same stories that I've been trying to fight over years. When Learned Council, Camino, tries to trivialize this matter, it pains me because it doesn't know how painful it is. Because, Chairman, there is no, in the history of the judicial system, nowhere, and this matter has ever been done or conducted live on TV. It was mine. And that was the reason when Dr. Muthomiti Ankolu tries to contextualize this story, then it's not taken seriously. Just like as mentioned, there is a judgment there by Ongundi, which clearly in a paragraph says that is what happened. When counsel for the mover accepts in before this committee that was called, was having a discussion with the so-called, with the person that we are referring to as a proxy, one wonders what is it that was being discussed. So, members of this committee, I would want to say one time that as we look into this matter, let us really look at the matter on the basis of evidence and the fact. I am ready to defend myself, and I really know the pain that the number of farmers that or really interacted with the few bags of fertilizer, I really feel for them. And I've taken corrective measures from the ministry. Those people that we believe were culpable, I've already taken plea. And Chairman, I want to leave it at that, but it's very painful for me because when I took over the ministry, the country was in a crisis, didn't have food, we were trying to import food. We've produced 67 million bags within the first year. And when we are telling people going back to the farms, I thank the farmers that came to listen to us. I was shown Jahon, and because this is what I want to call occupational hazard. Because it comes with the job I'm doing. But remember, members, I sat on that side for 15 years. You may also cross to this side. So as you decide on this matter, please note do injustice. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Members, we are done with opening statements from both the parties. Now we will proceed to evidence taking. Honorable Jack Wanami Wamboka, Member of Parliament for Bumula constituency, you have 4 hours. And I ask the clerk now to administer the oath because you are the first witness.
I'm sure you need a break or break.
Members are in agreement, 10 minutes, yes. And then we resume. Thank you.
The moment I feel my pain starting to fade, it's like I'm going back to myself on a really good day.
Panadol Extra releases you from strong pain. Panadol, release starts here.
Nimejaribu mafuta na sabuni nyingi, hazikusaidia kurelieve eczema, dryness, or my baby's sensitive skin. Tangu nigundue the new Nice and Lovely Baby Naturals wash. Ni soothing during bath time na haiwashi macho. Ngozi imebadilika kabisa. Thanks to Nice and Lovely Baby Naturals Jelly and Cream. Jionee mwenyewe. The power of 3-in-1 Jelly and Cream moisturizes, protects, and repairs. Chagua Nice and Lovely Baby Naturals. Approved by pediatricians and dermatologists.
Get out of our house.
Pack your things and get out.
I own nothing. Throw them all out. I never want to see you ever again.
Why don't I leave you two to talk first?
I don't want to listen to anything he says.
You helped me right when I needed it, so I'm here. I'm glad to be here. So just let me help you.
I wish I never met her, Isabella.
Unfortunately, there's no changing the past.
I know that.
Mbali tumetoka na bado tunasonga, kote tumeenea.
Celebrating 50 years of our past and inspiring our future.